Greetings from Eco Cha. Here we are on my rooftop this afternoon, about to show you a few different methods of brewing tea. We're going to start with the simplest method and move on to the more ornate and traditional methods of brewing Taiwanese oolong tea. The quickest and simplest way to brew a cup of tea is simply to put tea leaves in a mug and fill it with boiled water. I am using a ceramic soup spoon to offer a visual of how much tea I will put in a 12-ounce mug, which I'd guess is about a rounded tablespoon. From this amount of tea, you can decide if you like a lighter or stronger brew. So just drop the leaves in a mug and fill with boiling or near boiling temperature water, depending on the type of tea leaves being used. The leaves will float to the surface at first, but as they reconstitute, they will slowly sink to the bottom as they brew. And several minutes later, you can take your first sip. You can refill with hot water as you drink to prolong the brew and maintain your preferred taste. Here we have a bottle of cold brewed tea that was prepared with room temperature water just a few hours ago. As you can see, the leaves have mostly reconstituted, and the tea is ready to be enjoyed. I am now going to prepare a second bottle just to demonstrate how simple it is to prepare cold brewed tea. The amount of tea leaves is significantly less than what is typically used to make hot tea. I will put less leaves in this bottle than I did in the mug of hot brewed tea, even though this bottle is about 6 ounces or 50% greater in volume than the glass mug. After putting the preferred amount of tea leaves in the bottle, simply fill it with room temperature or chilled water. The bottle can then be put in the fridge for at least 8 hours of brewing, or left at room temperature to brew for a minimum of 3 hours. The amount of tea leaves used to brew cold brewed tea is a personal preference, so experiment to find what you determine to be just right for you. There you have it, cold brewed tea. Gong Fu Style Tea. The Chinese term Gong Fu Cha refers to the traditionally developed method of brewing oolong tea that requires knowledge and skill. We begin by rinsing and warming the teaware with boiled water. In addition to a teapot, pitcher, and cups, a bowl or vessel that is big enough to hold the rinse water before and after brewing, as well as the brewed tea leaves, is necessary. Gong Fu style involves brewing small amounts of concentrated tea for short intervals that are repeated several times. Brewing the tea in small amounts for short intervals allows the leaves to be brewed in succession, capturing the subtle essences of flavor and aroma as they are released from the tea leaves. The amount of tea leaves to be used is typically measured in proportion to the size of the teapot. For smaller pots, filling the pot to 1/5 capacity with dry leaves is a general rule of thumb for tightly rolled oolong tea. Leaves that are not tightly rolled should be measured differently. Proportionately less tea should be used as the size of the pot increases. Prior to brewing our first pot of tea, we want to rinse and moisten the leaves by filling the pot to near capacity and immediately pouring off the rinse to be discarded. We then refill the pot for our first brew. At the right moment, the tea is poured from the pot into the pitcher. As such, the first brew should be about 50 seconds, and about 10 seconds should be added for each successive brew. The pitcher provides the essential function of being able to pour the tea from the pot at the correct brewing interval, even if your guests' cups are still full. After the third brew, it's usually fine to let the leaves brew for at least 2 minutes or more. From this point, it is a continuous flow of pouring hot water into the pot, then brewed tea from the pot into the pitcher, and in turn into the cups that have been drained by your guests. Part of the Gong Fu or skill is keeping it relaxed and natural rather than calculated. When several brews have been enjoyed and the robust flavor of the tea begins to fade, it is time to remove the tea leaves from the pot and rinse the teaware in preparation for the next time. No further washing is necessary. This is a social ritual, not a ceremony or a scientific experiment. It is important to remain cognizant of the brewing intervals, but I personally never look at the clock. Like any daily ritual, it becomes second nature over time. Gong Fu Style Tea is one of life's simple pleasures that provides fulfillment and well-being. It is the ideal way to appreciate quality tea.